Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I'm joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate Green. Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Jared. How about you?
I'm not doing too bad. I was debating about how I wanted to start this one off because there's a lot to talk about, but I'll start it off this way. We won yesterday. They won today. You win tomorrow. It's a winning streak. Even though they're already on that winning streak, you know, they won. They won
in a row.
They won Friday, they won Saturday, they won Sunday. They actually won 5 of 6, by the way.
Yes.
5 of 6. 5 of 6. Going into Houston, you got to go into Houston hot. But like I mentioned before, a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff happened in this series, it felt like. I don't know, it just felt like a lot of weird things happened too, Didn't it?
Definitely one of the weirder series in recent memories.
Weird series, but it went the Angels' way, which doesn't seem to happen a lot. But it was weird in a good way, it seemed like, minus a couple things. And we'll rehash everything, of course. But first, guys, of course, just want to thank you all for listening to this podcast here so much at Talking Halos. It just means the world to us. Appreciate it. Cannot say enough again. I have to mention Blue Wire. Thank you, Blue Wire, for letting us do our thing with this podcast. And, again, if anybody from Blue Wire is listening to this, some nice shirts with Blue Wire on it. Just go ahead and DM me and we can make that happen. But yeah, it'd be absolute blast. Having a blast doing this, having a blast on YouTube, still having a blast. We're going to do this all year long, hopefully all the way to the postseason. And as the Angels hopefully are crowned World Series champions, we'll see what happens. So guys, subscribe if you're not subscribed already on YouTube. Subscribe wherever you're listening to this as well. If you're listening to this, you can follow myself on Twitter at Jared_Timms. You can follow Nate at NateGreen34. And let's get this rolling. So the Angels take 3 of 4 in Texas. Thursday, it didn't look like it. We were off to a good start at all. It felt like it was just going to be a tough series, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, going in Thursday, then going into Friday, about 4 innings, it was like, well, this is where we're at. And then the 5th inning, something turned on, and it just all of a sudden happened. But let's start with the Shohei Ohtani start. Are you worried about Shohei at all?
No, I do think he needs some more rest. I think that this guy can't be out there 162 games. He can't even be out there 160 games, honestly. I think the Angels need to look at giving him some extra rest after starts, maybe before starts, something, because this is a lot on his body. You can tell it has been very, very tough for him. You saw it last year. He was unbelievable early. All-Star break happened. And he started going downhill very, very fast. So I think they need to monitor him, give him some days off. I know he probably doesn't want some days off, but for the good of him, for the good of the team, he needs some days off, especially if they're going to make a run in the playoffs. Like Shohei Ohtani can't be on a downward spiral when the Angels start their first playoff series. So that is the only thing that worries me is, will they use him too much?
Absolutely. I want to see, and I've said this many of times, I just want to see Shohei Ohtani get back to his pitching ways and not the throwing ways, if that makes sense. I don't want to see him go out there in the first inning, throw 100 miles an hour, because that's not what you need. I mean, it's not bad. Like if you can consistently do that and consistently, throw strikes with it, but we just haven't seen that strike throwing ability yet. I feel like he's been getting deep into counts a lot. I feel like he's, been kind of tiptoeing around some hitters in a sense. And I want to see him get back to that those Justin Verlander ways, the ways that he was you look at Shohei Ohtani evolved into a pitcher last year, 110%. He became a lot smarter, and I'm sure he's still smart, but I'd like to see him dial it back a little bit in early on, and then when he needs the 100, go to the 100. It's kind of like Justin Verlander, work your way into the 6th, 7th inning, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm just gonna pull a 101 mile an hour heater out to strike somebody out in the 7th inning after I shoved for that long. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm not worried about Shohei at all. If you asked me at the beginning of the series if I was worried about Shohei Ohtani hitting, I would be like, well, maybe a little bit. But that obviously isn't a thing either, because he hit 3 home runs this series. The offense really, really did come alive this series. But if we're gonna go game by game, yeah, that Thursday game was a tough one. One upside, the Mike Trout tank, by the way, in the first, they got off to a really good start, and it was very good. He had an absolute monster shot. Of course, I mean, I feel like we can talk about this right now. No, let's wait for the Sunday game. We'll recap game by game. Of
the
course.
only other bright spot in that game, Jaime Barria was able to throw 4 innings. That was huge for the bullpen. The bullpen has thrown a lot of innings so far, and so for Jaime to really take up most of the game was huge. So that was very encouraging to see as well.
Yeah, you took the words. Actually, I was just about to say it too. I said another bright spot was like if there were 2 bright spots of that game, it was Barria, who ate some innings up, which is fantastic, which is exactly what you want out of Jaime. And then the Trout tank, and then Stassi had a home run. And it seemed like they had a little bit of fight there at the end, but I mean, you never know when it comes down to it. So, first game lost. Second game, the Angels just kind of stormed out of nowhere. Like I said, though, if you were talking about the first 4 innings, it would be like, this is not going to be good. And then all of a sudden, in the 5th inning, it took off. But it's something I want to talk about in the 4th inning is the intentional walk. The bases loaded intentional walk. That's impressive. Like
we have to talk about that.
We have to talk about that. Nate, are you making that move there?
I am not, but I understand where he's coming from. I would not make that move. I do understand where he's coming from. If Seager gets up there and hits a double or a triple or even a bomb, game's over. 100% the game is over. If Corey Seager walks there, you get out of the inning, maybe you feel like you still have some life, maybe. Obviously, the Angels did because they came back to win this game. But for me personally, I'm not making that move. I'm trusting my guy to go get Corey Seager out, and if we don't get Corey Seager out, then we don't deserve to win the game. So, that was a crazy move. In the moment, still, I still wouldn't do it. Still not 100% a fan of it, but it's really hard to second guess because they won the game. So
I'm not second guessing it at all. I like the move. I don't know if I would do it. Like, I don't know if I would think about doing that as a manager there. I'd entertain it maybe, like throwing around him in a sense, seeing if you can get him to roll over something in that situation, like unintentionally, intentionally walking him in a sense. But I don't know if I just straight up say, hey, that's 4, get on there. Excuse me. But the interesting thing I think that was noted after the game was it seemed like it brought the infield together as a team in a sense. Like they said, Madden came out there and it was like, so what do you think about walking him here? And everybody just kind of looked around and was like, all right, let's do it. And everybody, if you actually watch the replay of it too, everybody Warren kind of is like, what? Okay. Like I'm not against that. I don't need that. If I don't have to face Seager, I don't want to. And then, Rendon kind of laughs, and then I think Wade was at short and he kind of laughed.
Trout did not look happy.
It was weird. It was definitely weird.
Trout was like, what are we doing? Like, I thought we wanted to win this game. And,
well, of course,
it kind of woke him up. It was almost like Joe Madden got kicked out of the game, and everyone was like, oh, wow, these guys, like Joe's got our back without getting kicked out of the game. Like, that was kind of what happened there. It's like the Angels were like, okay, like, we got to win this game because this is getting ugly. If we're going to have to walk a guy intentionally with the bases loaded. Other interesting note, Joe Madden's second time he's done this in his career.
In Tampa, I think, too, right?
Yes, second time in his career. First time ever losing the game. I think the last time it happened was like early 1900s. I think our friend had that stat. So,
no one's ever lost a game while intentionally walking. There's
with the bases loaded.
The winning team usually has walked intentionally, like has walked the hitter intentionally. They're 7-0 or something like that when walking someone intentionally.
Second time that the team that was losing did it though. So very interesting. I think Joe did it to our friend Josh Hamilton when he was playing outside his mind. Mm-hmm. So I could see it at that time when Josh Hamilton was just, hitting home run after home run. But obviously the most notable one is when Bonds was walked intentionally to make sure the Diamondbacks won their game, which was honestly, that one made 100% sense. Like that dude hit a home run like every other at bat, and you're up 3 with Bonds at the dish. Like you just put him on and you go face the next guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who would you rather face in that? It was like Bonds or Benito Santiago or something like that.
It could have been Jeff Kent, but I'm still facing Jeff Kent over Barry Bonds. No disrespect to Jeff Kent, but that's probably wouldn't have made the move if I was the manager. But like I said, a win's a win.
And I think the best part about this game, of course, I mean, the offense turned on. You had Ohtani, who had 2 home runs. You had Adele hit a tanker. You had Kurt Suzuki hit a home run as well, and Jared Walsh hit a home run. So the offense just kind of took storm there, of course. But I think the best part about this game had to have been the way the bullpen was managed. If that 100%, you're down 6. I think it was 6-2 going into the top of the 5th. You put a 5 spot on them to make it a 7-6 game, I think, at the time.
Yes.
You go to Loop for 2 innings. You score 2 more runs while Loop's pitching. You go just a pair in a 3-run game, and then Iglesias. I mean, it's exactly like you wrote it up. That's what you want, when it's all said and done.
Absolutely.
That's why you paid $96 million for the bullpen. And I know you didn't see Archie Bradley, but I mean,
we did later in the series.
We did, absolutely, and that was huge. The 7-2 game was a game I did not get to watch, but I heard Noah Syndergaard pitched unbelievable. I don't know if you want to rehash that a little bit.
Yeah, so I actually was waiting for this one to talk about more what you were just talking about with Shohei Ohtani, the pitching instead of throwing. And Syndergaard, yes, he acknowledged his velo still not all the way back to his 98 to 101 days, but he did say that this has really allowed him to learn how to pitch. Not that he didn't know how to pitch at 101, but now at 96, 90, 94, 96, he really has to hit spots and work, be able to throw different pitches and different counts instead of just being able to throw 101 whenever he wants. So that's kind of what you want to see out of Shohei Ohtani. Noah Syndergaard has done that in both his starts. He has thrown the ball extremely well. He has been what this team has been missing. They've been missing an ace who's going to go out there and grab the ball for 6 innings every time out. Like, I think you could probably pencil him in for 6 innings the rest of the year, as long as he's healthy. He might have 1 or 2 hiccups throughout the year where he doesn't get through 6, but I mean, you shouldn't have any 4 1/3 starts where he doesn't allow a run. You should have 5 1/3, 6 innings every time out, as long as he's pitching well. So he threw the ball well. I want to bring up Tyler Wade. Tyler Wade had a nice bunt single in this game. He has just been unbelievable.
Yes.
I am going to continue to talk about Tyler Wade. That was my guy that I wanted to see this year. Going to continue to talk about the way that he allows the Angels to win games differently this year. We looked at it earlier. He wins a game because he steals a base, gets a third on a wild pitch, and scores on a ground ball to short. Yes, it might have been an error, but the speed of Tyler Wade made that play happen.
And how many times has Tyler Wade been in like a challengeable play early on?
All the time.
Every game, it's just a rejuvenation of energy.
It's unbelievable. Like, the dude's always hustling, always making plays close. He has been outstanding. He has no problem dropping a drag bunt down. He has no problem stealing a base. The best part is there are times, like in the game they won, the Astros knew he was stealing. Like, it was like, well, he has. It was the Astros, correct?
The
Marlins.
Marlins.
It was the Marlins.
Yeah.
The Marlins knew he was stealing. It was like, oh, they brought him in to steal, and he still stole second. Like, that is something the Angels haven't had since Chone Figgins.
Shoney.
That's a long time ago, right? Like, that's the last guy that they've had that's kind of been able to play offensively every day and make an impact, but also to be, when he doesn't start, he's able to come off the bench and steal a base or make an impact when he doesn't start. So Tyler Wade he had a great day as well. He's been able to play all over the diamond, second, short, wherever. Love seeing that. And then in this game, my favorite part, they got Taylor Ward back. Taylor Ward hits a bomb in the 9th inning. He didn't even need a rehab assignment. Just goes, hey, I played 10 days ago. I'm good. Goes in there 2 for 3, hits a tank in his last AB. Really competitive ABs. You saw it from him again on Sunday, some more competitive ABs. And, I mean, he could make this lineup a little bit deeper. I've been talking about how this lineup is really only three men deep. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is kind of like, you never know. Like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 could go hitless some days, depending on how this lineup looks. So that is going to be an interesting thing, but Taylor Ward has looked really good early. Joe Adell's starting to play a little bit better offensively. Brenton Marsh is, he's been great offensively. You really can't Can't get upset with what he's done. So really, really good Saturday.
Yeah, and some more notes on this too. Matt Duffy started against the lefty, and then he got he got 3 at bats in. Then you bring in Jared Walsh. I'm all for that. I love it.
When they went to the righty, yes,
that needs to happen. That 100% needs to happen. And then we mentioned the Archie Bradley. 2 innings, came in, shut the door, got the hold there.
3 punchies, great job.
In a 3-2 game there, and then the Angels went out and broke it open. We're able to bring in Ollie Ortega, who again looks good. So. Yeah, we'll kind of see how that works, but the big day here was taking the 3rd game of this 4-game set against the Rangers. They took it 8-3. Let's just get right to the kind of, I guess, the most important news. Yes, they won the game. Mike Trout was taken out of the game, got hit in the hand. Super funky too, by the way. Like, he shouldn't have gotten hit in the hand. It was a slider that was down at his belt, but I don't know. I know there's been some talk.
He said he couldn't see.
Yeah,
he said the shadows in center. He said it was impossible to see. He said if there weren't those shadows there, I would have turned and it would have hit me in the back. But that's tough. Rangers hopefully are going to have the roof closed in afternoon games. Hopefully that plays a part in this as well.
100%. You need to, and it's something that if it was a fastball, we would be having a different conversation. I'll tell you that much. But luckily, it was a slider. I'll say
I think
that.
He said he could see the fastball. He couldn't see the slider, which is weird. But
yeah.
I guess it depends on the slot the ball's coming out of and things like that. So.
Yep. And then again, Matt Duffy at first base here went 3 for 5 on Sunday, which was huge against the lefty. That's going to have to happen. We mentioned that. When we got Matt Duffy, is that if he plays 90 to 101, 110 games, we're okay with that. It's as long as he's not starting in any situation. But again, the Angels seemed to battle. It was kind of back and forth a little bit. They got a couple bounces to go their way. Suarez is going to start being a question mark if he can't throw strikes.
He's Andrew Heaney.
It's back-to-back starts without throwing strikes, unfortunately. Like, you got to be able to throw strikes. He needs to do it more consistently. But
that's been my biggest worry about him from his first start of his major league career. It's like, is this guy going to throw strikes? Because we've seen him walk 6 dudes in an inning. And it's like, we can't have that as a starter. I still think he's a bullpen piece. I think he's really good in the bullpen. He doesn't have to worry about saving anything. He can just go out there and throw really, really good for an inning or two. Maybe that Jaime Barria role or that other lefty to comp to Aaron Luke. But that would be something I would look forward to if Lorenzen continues to pitch well and Suarez continues to pitch the way he does. Deadline, if the Angels are in it, they're going to go get a starting pitcher. Suarez could be the guy to move to the bullpen.
Absolutely.
Or it could be the guy in the trade.
Yeah, no, definitely. And again, the big note here as well in the bullpen. Jaime Barria pitched fantastic on Sunday. I know it wasn't in a huge high leverage situation, but he got 6 innings over this. So he basically made a start for the Angels. He made a start basically for the Angels over this weekend, which is huge as well.
Jimmy Herget was unbelievable. 2 innings, 5 punchies. He allowed 1 hit, didn't walk anyone. To get 5 Ks in 2 innings is ridiculous.
Yep.
So he had a great day. Tyler Wade again, 2 for 3, RBI, run scored. I mean, that dude, he's hitting. Whether it's an infield single, whether it's a bunt single, whether it's a straight up single, stole base again. Like, he just puts so much pressure on the defense, and it is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
So much fun to watch.
Absolutely. You want to know the best part about this series? I think I was right, Nate.
You were. I said they were going to go 1-3. You had them at 3-1. You might have had them at 2-2.
Let's make this into a game. Point each one that we get. So I'm up 1-0 on you for the year.
Even though I had the Astros winning the opening series,
you take it fine. 1-1. That's cool. Okay. Miami will flush out on the Miami series.
Yeah, that one.
I think we both said they were probably going to sweep.
Yeah, we did.
So we'll flush that one. So we'll take it 1-1 here going into the Houston Astros series in this competition. Should be an absolute blast to have. But you got any other notes to take away from that series? I think I think they just kind of came together as a bunch a little bit. I know Trout's going to be day to day, and we've talked to people, and the Angels aren't built. And I'll quote this from Taylor Ward: the Angels aren't built to lose Trout for a long time. But you got any other notes to take away from the series?
The one good thing about not being built is Taylor Ward is playing, well. So it does give them some options for 2 or 3 days. It's not going to be something you want to see for a month, but it's something that the Angels could survive for 2 to 3, maybe a week.
Yep.
So
I'm actually also hoping that Trout is actually day to day and not, out 6 to 8 weeks, but missing the season type of thing. So
I heard that it's day to day, but
it is day to day at the moment. But we'll actually see how it plays out.
They
so
said X-rays are negative. Hopefully they don't take advantage of the 10-day IL and put them on the 10-day IL and wait forever.
Yep. So let's get on to previewing this next series against the Astros. 3 games set, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Should be a lot of fun. I'd like the pitching matchups here as well, as we see Michael Lorenzen against Luis Garcia. That's actually a really good pitching matchup there. When you look at it. Yeah, really good.
Garcia is unbelievable at 96 plus. And it sinks. It's disgusting. Coming off 4 innings shutouts, I believe. Lorenzen coming off 6-1, so he's coming off a really good start as well. So that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nate, again, previewing the series, this is why I think that the Angels are really well built for a play. They match up really well against the Astros in this series, and you're not even pitching Noah Syndergaard this series.
I mean, you're also getting 4-5-1 for the Astros.
You're getting 4-5-1 for the Angels here too.
I know, but 4-5-1 doesn't pitch in a playoff series. 4-5 don't.
Well, you
can say Syndergaard, but Verlander as well, who has been electric for the Houston Astros. That guy has been unbelievable. He had 8 Ks in 8 innings. I saw him go 8 innings against Seattle Mariners on Friday night. It was great. So, yes, I understand what you're saying, but you also have to, if you're going to throw the Syndergaard thing out, you got to throw the Verlander thing out. The one thing I do like for
one
the
pitcher
Astros,
away.
Yeah. One offensive player away as well. I think they're missing a hitter and a pitcher because I still think this offense is very, very weak. But we'll see. You can't have Andrew Velazquez hitting under my weight the entire year and playing, 60 games because who knows how long David Fletcher is going to be out for.
Yeah, haven't even heard an update there on him. So, let's get on to this game 2. It's going to be Patrick Sandoval against Framber Valdez. Again, another fantastic pitching matchup. Would love to see Patrick do the exact same thing he did in his previous start. Again, I'd like to see him get a little bit deeper.
I was going to say, hopefully the pitch counts a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit deeper and some more strikes, of course. I know he's going to get a lot of swings and misses and try to strike a lot of guys out, but like to see bat on ball a little bit more. And then we get on to the Wednesday, kind of matinee game, I guess. Matinee game in a sense, a little bit.
Sure.
5 o'clock game. So you get Jake Odorizzi against Shohei Ohtani, former almost probably not Angel in a sense that everybody wanted, but we did not.
Thankfully.
Yeah. So fantastic series. Houston, I don't think has Alvarez, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that's the one thing that I was going to say I like for the Angels this series. Yordan Alvarez was put on the COVID list on Friday morning, I believe, if I'm correct. He was on the field for batting practice on Saturday.
I thought he got hurt.
No, it was a COVID thing. Weirdest thing I've heard, he was on the field taking fly balls during batting practice on Saturday, and he was not cleared to play today or Sunday. So you would think that he's probably going to be healthy to play on Monday.
But who knows?
Yeah, according to ESPN, they expect him to be activated from the COVID injured list to play Monday against the Angels. Dealt with a fever 4 consecutive days, though he's now apparently recovered and on the cusp of returning to action. So that is good news for the Angels that Yordan has had a couple of days without seeing live pitching, and that could take him a game or two to get back into it. But also bad news because Yordan rakes when he is right. So
absolutely
going to be tough.
Yeah, so let's get into predicting the series, if you don't mind us doing that. In a sense, no cheating for the Astros here, in a sense, against Shohei Ohtani. I think last time he pitched in Houston, in a sense, was that.
I think it was his last. No, because he made starts there last year.
Did he?
But it was 2 years or right before TJ. His last start before TJ was in Houston when the Astros were possibly still cheating. I think that was the year that the Astros claimed they weren't cheating, but I believe they were. Jose Altuve said, "Don't take off my shirt." Dude's wearing a buzzer. he has a really, really bad tattoo that apparently doesn't exist because when he takes off his shirt, he doesn't have a tattoo. So
All right. Chill with that. So let's go. Let's get some predictions here on for this Houston Astros series. We go game one. I say Houston takes game one. I'm a huge Luis Garcia fan.
That's going to be an excellent game. Is going to be interesting to see what Lorenzen looks like facing a tough lineup. I know he faced Miami in his first start. Miami's not the toughest lineup. They were missing their probably best hitter in Avisail Garcia. So I agree with you. I think Garcia and the Astros take game one.
Yeah. Again, like I said, dude, another good matchup here with Sandoval and Valdez. I'll say the Angels take this, but I think it's going to come down to the offensive side of things. But we'll see.
I feel like for some reason, every time you look at it, you're like, Framber Valdez, like, how's that guy pitching good? And you look at it, and against the Angels, that dude is unbelievable. I don't know how, I don't know why, but for some reason, I feel like he pitches really good against the Angels. I mean, he's coming off, 7 shutout innings in his first start against the Angels.
Angels seeing him, though, twice in like a week span, in a sense. So
yeah, a week and a half, I guess. Yeah. That bodes well. As long as Duffy plays first base, the Angels are going to have a shot. Oh, the other thing, Astros missing their closer. Ryan Presley was put on the IL Sunday morning, so that is another thing for the Astros. They're going to figure out how to close games without Ryan Presley. I think the Astros take the lead going into the 9th inning, and they don't close it out. That's going to be my prediction for game 2. I think Framber's going to throw the ball well, and they're not going to know how to close a game. Maybe Ryan Stanek will come in. He might blow the save. Somebody is going to blow a save in this series for the Astros.
Yep. Yeah. So I like that prediction there as well. Let's go on to game 3 here. Ohtani against Odorizzi. I think this is the game that Ohtani becomes Ohtani again and starts shoving. I think we see like 12, 13 strikeouts from him in Houston and during a day game. I know that that's like a weird thing, but I think that this is kind of when Ohtani becomes Ohtani in a sense and starts shoving again. So I say the Angels win this game. And of course, I'm not a huge Jake Odorizzi fan either. I think the Angels again take it to Jake Odorizzi and they win this game like 10-0 or something like that.
Wow. You have an offensive outburst. I also have an offensive outburst. I think the final score of this one's going to be like 9-8. I think it's going to be both teams scoring a bunch of runs on getaway day.
It's a 4:00 game, so that means it's on ESPN. So something weird's going to happen.
Yeah, I got.
Oh no, it's a Wednesday game. Never mind.
I got a big scoring game. Yeah. So looking at maybe a 9-8 game, 10-9.
We'll see.
I want to say the Angels win this series 2 out of 3. I really do.
I do too.
The Astros offense has struggled, but for some reason Pena thinks that the Angels are AAA pitching and he rakes against them. I'm gonna say the Angels win 2 out of 3, 10-9 in game 3.
It's not fun if we're the same. I'm gonna say they are. I'm gonna say Jared. Like my head says it. Actually, my heart says it. My heart says 2 of 3, but it comes down to that game 2. I think it comes down to Sandoval and Framber. So I'll say they take 2 of 3 too. I think they end up doing it though. I can see him losing 2 of 3 as well.
Then I can't get yelled at for being negative. I have them winning 2 of 3.
Negative Nate, no longer Negative Nate. We can't call him that anymore. So Nate, you got any final thoughts here before we let everybody go?
No. Looking forward to the series. Astros again in Houston. Angels typically have not played the Astros too well. We'll see how this goes, especially when the Astros were bad. When the Astros were not trying to win, the Angels could not beat the Astros. So looking forward to this week. Angels are in first place as of right now, correct?
Yes. Oh, it depends if Houston lost today. I haven't really looked at that.
Houston. They did 7-2. Mariners took it to them.
Yep, the first place, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting series. It kind of a late season preview for what could develop here and really be an important series. So, guys, as always, just want to thank you all so much for listening to this podcast here at Talking Halos. Again, making us the best Angels podcast out there. If you could subscribe wherever you're listening to it or watching, Again, you can leave us some comments. Let us know how you like it. If you have any ideas for minor league, I don't know if I'm not going to call it minor league Monday, though that would be kind of sick. But we'll be recapping games on Monday.
Yep.
So if you guys
ideas for other things that day, like who knows? If you have something else for Jared and I to talk about on the one random day a week, maybe it'll be a Friday. We'd be interested. Obviously, we love talking about minor leagues, but it could be something fun as well. So.
Absolutely. So if you guys have any ideas, throw them our way. We're more than happy to roll it out and see how it works. You can follow us on all of our social medias. You can follow myself on Twitter, Jared_Tim's, Nate at NateGreen34. And guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.